We are live, which is fantastic. So where we left off last time was first of all, introductions. So hi, welcome to the stream. We are live, which is fantastic. Okay, cool. Just double checking that. So welcome to the stream. So this is just me looking at each and every single archetype. I realized that I forgot to rank it actually last time. But I believe it's important for us to just get an overall grip of all the other archetypes first before actually ranking, putting them in a properly listing them. But so far from what I can see, actually, looking at all of these so far. Oh yes, I also had to redo the system since last time. So let me just give you a quick guide of that. So what happened was I just separated the consistency and oppressiveness. The uniqueness mechanic, I have actually changed how it is numbered from a 1 to 5. Because, to be quite honest, 1 to 10 is a bit too broad. So just to make it easier, I have just dropped it quite a bit. So adding nice the drops to a 2 then, because it's not really the most unique thing on Earth. But it does work with how it utilizes the field spell, which I personally find unique. Then the uniqueness of Abyss Actor, which is just an old pendulum, but the spell mechanic actually gives it some props. And Adamantipator, the uniqueness lies in just how it overall utilizes the graveyard as well as its search mechanic. So that's why I gave it a proper 4. Not the greatest, but it's pretty good, but not the greatest on Earth. Alien, well, it does make use of it does make use of counters. It is still pretty slow. Allure Queen actually I think is the lowest in all honesty. Give it a 3. It's okay, but it is the level up mechanic which was used, so not really that great. Ally of Justice, it's kind of a sad thing, but again, it is pretty unique in how it just deals with only light monsters. But the problem is it's just not strong enough. Altergeist. I'm gonna leave this at a 2 because it is a pretty it's not really unique in terms of how it deals with the it's a trap heavy deck, in all honesty. Outlich does the same, although with varying amounts of power. Then let's see, then there is Amazonas, which I took a look at the new pendulum cards. They aren't actually that bad. They just, I think, add more attack, if I'm correct. They just, again, so it's not really it's just a battle deck, in all honesty. So I'm just going to drop that to a 1. Rather, although it's very trap and spell heavy, so I'm just going to leave it there. A Morphage, I do like its style, so I'm going to give it a 4. Ancient Gear, nothing really special about it, except that it stops monsters at the battle phase. Then these are empty. Forgot to put Ancient Warriors here. So where we left off last time, I'm gonna have to come back to do it in dual links to just copy these numbers, so I'll leave it for now. So yeah, we're just gonna take a quick look at the type of decks. This won't be a long stream, but I just didn't feel comfortable letting the stream just exist for so long without anything new added. So then, it is time to return. So, first things first, when returning back to this window, as you can see, I'm now using Yugipedia. Personally, I find it much more easier to use, and they also have it separated by archetypes. They just have the same type of archetypes, and I also opened this anime and manga only archetypes just to get further confirmation instead of looking at each of the cards individually to see what's happening. So, if I am correct to say, last time we were at the Ancient Warriors. Then afterwards, so let's first begin with Ancient Warriors. So, Ancient Warriors, I have played a bit of it. It kind of functions the same way as 5 Formation, where they rely heavily on their field spells, but I think the unique aspect of this is that these cards, they do support each other, but these ones support each other more directly by giving forms of protection when they're, how do I say it? It's a bit tricky to just describe. They can OTK. I have played them a couple times. It's not that difficult to OTK with them. They also have a powerful destruction, which comes in the form of Rebellious Lufang, where it is if your opponent summons a monster, you can pop a monster. Let me just see. Must be and this card can be special summoned on your turn 1 if you have it. If given that you have another Ancient Warriors monster. And it also does really well with the spell cards, which some of them are searches, some of them actually negates negate battle, negates an attack while also special summoning. So yes, this card can pop, especially on your opponent's normal summon, and it is a quick effect to destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. However, it kind of locks you out of monster effects though. So yeah, you might want to use that. Yeah, you can either use it once, or that's it. I still need to just practice with it because yes, I just need to check this part out the most. If it cancel, I don't think it can activate after you do something. But also a major downside to this is that during the end phase, if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack on the field, even if it's tied, you give control back. You give control to your opponent. Gives them a free pop, but once they activate that, they are only locked to spell and traps. Okay then, so the spell cards, just to give a quick overview, they are all continuous, and I believe all of them have an effect once you send them to the graveyard. These are also all based on actual warriors, based on real warriors in real life. I'm not going to go too deep into that. You can read into that yourself. So let's just go on to Ancient Warriors and just quickly give them. So their speed, depending on a good hand, they are actually quite awesome. Not too fast, not too great. Especially, oh yes, their boss monster, by the way, is Double Dragon, I believe. It just utilizes the effect to just send a card, Ancient Warriors card or continue spell from your hand or field to the graveyard to bounce or return one of your opponent's cards to the hand. I believe monsters. Just want to see if I can quickly just double check that. Don't like being incorrect. It's a Link monster. Yeah, Ancient Warriors, Oath, Double Dragon Lords. So, is it targeting? Oh, yeah. No. It's targeting, but it only targets one face up also. And also it has a hard once per turn to just add one Ancient Warriors, as well as just give a boost to attack and defense. Okay, so let us see. So in terms of speed, I would give them a 6. Power, they can be quite dangerous, especially with just raw overall attack power. Uniqueness mechanic, again, it is very reliant on continuous trap. Well, it's not very reliant. Can still pull off combos without it, but it works best with the spell and traps, which I believe are all continuous. So I'll give this a 3 because it's not unique that it only belongs to this archetype. But yeah. So oppressiveness, it can be quite oppressive. So in terms of stopping your opponent from playing, but not so much that your opponent can just stop it with just one negate. So I would just give it a 6. 6. Basically, they can be quite oppressive. Just one pop and a spell trap card, but no, rather 5 rather. Consistency, they can be quite consistent in my opinion, especially if playing pure. Again, you are free to argue with me on that because I do have some experience, but I haven't been playing it for years. So let me just go with a... Personally, when I was playing with it, I did have pretty consistent hands, but also some pretty clunky hands. So it obviously not going to lie above 8, but I will give it a 6. Then overall support, it actually has enough support to build a deck, so that's immediately above 5. And then overall support, actually, to get any card you want, it is pretty fantastic. So I will give it a solid 7. Protection, again, it has some fantastic cards to just protect it from being the board from being broken. So I will give it a 7 as well. Fantastic. So yeah, again, feel free to argue with me on this. In Duel Links, I can't really go too much into it because this archetype doesn't really exist in Duel Links yet. It hasn't come into it yet. So yes. Okay, cool. You're probably staring at this story. I kind of knew that was going to happen. I'll show you the final score after this. So next is the Angel archetype. I believe this may be... Yes, it is an anime TCG only archetype. Given big hint is just this, but I know these two cards, Queen and Fallen, are in Duel Links. And also this considers basically anything that resembles an angel. So to be quite honest, it's going to just be ignored. Then Amatos, let me just see, Anti is... Anti, let me just check this out. Is an archetype used by Iran, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal manga. Ah, I see. So each anti card opposes one of the 4 elements of the priests of the astral. Okay, I gotta really read the manga now. But to be quite honest with you, I'm not going to do it considering that it's part of this list. So if it is part of this list, I will take a look at it. But yes, I can maybe just give a minor comment on it. Because regardless, some anime only archetypes do end up in Duel Links. For example, the hand archetype at the moment with Jirag. I don't know his... hold on, wait. I prefer to call him my Japanese name as well. It's okay, never mind. Basically, his one was added to the Duel Links at the moment, where you can get these cards as level up rewards. There was also the Maiden in Love, and also Bronxstones or Axel's. No, not Bronxstone and Axel, they're totally different people. Axel's card Firewall, I believe, which was added, but it's not in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. So yes, I will be looking over those and just giving brief, but I'm not going to add them to the list just yet. So Altergeist, Amazement, Ancient Gear. Next is Apocryphort, but I believe that is a sub-archetype of Cliforts, where these are just boss monsters. So yeah, no, I can't really discuss that. It is a sub-archetype, so I am just going to add it to the list of, let me see, just Control-C this, and yeah. But damn, I'm loving some old archetypes getting support, by the way. It is really fantastic. I'm also surprised that Sky Strikers actually got their own... Sorry, I'm just typing this. Got their own... got some new monsters. Although they, in my opinion, don't look so great, they are actually pretty decent. But I don't want to go too much into that. Next up is the Appliancer and Aqua Actress. So, Appliancer and Aqua Actress, let's first start with Appliancer. I already tested out these two decks. If they were in Duel Links, you could fill a full-on deck with these cards. Because if not, it just kind of affects your consistency. If mixed, then it just it helps it quite a lot. So, to be quite honest, in Master Duel formats, this card would need much more cards to just be able to build a full-on pure deck with it. Again, I still need to discuss the whole idea of how many pure cards can be added. So let's see. So Appliancer, playing style, weakness. So I'm just gonna actually give this something. Although this is not really, it can't really be added, I am going to just give it some scores here, because quite honestly, I have played a bit of it, and I do actually like it a bit. I do think it's actually fantastic. It's just very unique in how it is played. Although its power and speed, that's the problem. The thing is, I can't really say anything about its consistency. Its overall support at the moment is negligible because it can't be built into a full deck, and will need to be supported by quite a lot of cards, especially generic, that aren't archetype related. I can't really say anything about Appliance at the moment. But why I'm saying this is a very unique deck is, first of all, it mainly consists of rank 2 and rank 1, no, link 1, link 2, link monsters. So that's pretty fine on its own, but what makes it more unique is that the link 1 monsters have different effects depending on if they are co-linked or not, or linked at all. So basically 3 effects from my understanding. And so it is also has some swarming capability, but yeah, it's just again, I can't really give a full testimony on this, because when I was testing it out, basically it needed a you built maybe at 24 deck at best. You need to full in 16 cards at all, 16 cards, and all the spell cards and stuff basically mess with the consistency, so I can't give a proper description of it all. So let us move on to the next archetype. Again, Aqua Actress falls into the same thing. It was from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V anime. This one mainly relies on using, first of all, it has 3 monsters. It has Guppy, Tetra, and its boss monster, I believe, Arowana. So just since it's not that many, I can just give a quick overview. This card over here, I believe, just it's a good searcher. It's a soft once per turn, so do with it what you will. This card over here, you can special summon 1 Aqua Actress, so it's for swarming capability, and Tetra allows you to add an aquarium card, which I believe we discussed earlier. And all of these cards gain most of their power from the aquarium, as you can see right over here, where they can get attack boost, immunity to monster effects, and double attack when they battle. When I was going against it, I didn't read these cards correctly, so I got my ass promptly handed to me. And Duel Links, yeah, this thing could come in and build a full pure deck in it. And I'm not sure how Duel Links will do against it, because I don't think it has any... it has some protection in terms of attack boost and immunity to monster effects, as well as good battle phase, but again, it's very susceptible if you just have an MST on hand. Cosmic Cyclone. Yeah, so not the greatest, not the worst, but not going to give it too much time to look at. And again, that's why I kind of it affected the Ancient Warriors, because as I said, Ancient Warriors does not really have the most unique mechanic on Earth. Next up is the Arcana Force. Ooh boy, and then Archfiend. So I'm just gonna actually need to go through these much more quicker than usual. So Arcana Force, which was used by one of the main villains in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, which basically relies on if the card is heads up or heads down. I believe the heads up effects are much more better. And depending on if it's heads up, heads down, it'll get different effects. And one of the cards that really helps with this is the Wall of Light, if I'm correct. So then this archetype is separated into Major Arcana and Minor Arcana, as I'm reading some of this here. One of its boss monsters is, I believe, the World, which has an amazing effect to skip your opponent's turn. Given that you send 2 monsters you control to the graveyard and it is on heads. And if it's tails, then you, during your opponent's draw phase, add the top card of their graveyard to their hand, so giving them card advantage if it does not fall in your favor. So, to be quite honest, I do love this deck style. Suits of Sword. This deck has some... It's fun. It's gimmicky as hell. But it's not too bad. It can be really slow, especially if you don't have, I believe, Hall of Angels, Hall of Valhalla, I believe. Hall of Light. I'm trying to think of its name actually. Hall of the Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. Sorry. Okay, cool. So I had it right. So again, need to think about it, but this card would do very bad against Eye of Justice. General. But I am going to add Arcana over here. It is also Duel Links, but I think I should also do Duel Links at a different phase. So let's just stick with one just to let's just stick with one for now. So we have Appliancer. And then we have Arcana 14. So Arcana is going to get, in terms of speed, it can be pretty slow if you're running a pure. But Cup of Ace belongs to this deck, so who knows, maybe boosted. But I'm just going to give it a 4 for now. Again, not too much experience with it, likely to change. Again, feel free to argue with me on these. These are just preliminary. because I might come back to revisit this at one stage. And then the power, depending on if you get a good board and all of it heads on heads, again, it is quite a gamble. So, and I never seen this, even in Duel Links, as something to be afraid of. So, actually, I don't even see it being played in Duel Links, which is quite sad. So, I'm just going to give it maybe a 6, because when it gets its most powerful end board out, it can be quite terrifying. Actually, no, make that a 7. Uniqueness is rather a 4, no, 5. Having cards heads up, heads down, basically you're making them powerful, like giving you amazing effects at their heads up, but also disadvantaging you greatly if they are not the other way around. Yeah, no, I definitely consider that. They are definitely, at best, they skip your turn and just take your monsters, but they don't really have much interruption to your turn. So 3 at best, because they're not that terrifying. Then consistency. They have some cards which help with consistency, but also some cards that are dead in the hand when just taken out on your starter. So they have a 5 maybe. No, 4. No, 4, yeah. Overall support, I would give it, they have a full deck, so that's already a 5. So then a 6 or a 7, because they do have some powerful boss monsters, but and also they can benefit greatly from Valhalla of the Fallen, but that's adding the generic card rule of 5, because I can see that already being given in this deck. So I'm just going to add that as a 7, and protection varies. So I think I'm going to have to do some homework ahead of time. I'm going to add some decks just ahead of this, and then I'll just quickly explain them through you, because if we keep going like this, I'll most likely be done by maybe the end of next year, because I do have a pretty busy schedule. So yeah, I am just going to end it here. Unfortunately, I don't have much time, especially with country's power supply dying on the dying. So this is where everything is at the moment. I will be going to do some extra stuff ahead of time, so maybe I'll work up until 20 or 25, or maybe I'll end up until B, and I'll just give a quick rundown of all the archetypes that I have reviewed, and then once you reach down the final archetype, then we can start then I'm going to end the stream and do a whole dedicated stream just numbering these things correctly in terms of strength. So yes, thank you for watching. If there was anybody watching, highly doubt it. And yeah, I'm not sure when I'll get back to this, but I'll do my best to. But in the meantime, I have some stuff to do. So yeah, thank you and have a good one.